Have you ever felt a chill reading a Bible verse and thought, this can't be a coincidence? Centuries before Jesus was born, prophets wrote the exact address of his crucifixion, the price of his betrayal, even the cry he would give on the cross. And the most terrifying part, some of these prophecies are being fulfilled now in real time, in headlines you scroll past on your phone without noticing. Stay until the end. Because if you leave early, you'll miss the prophecy that made an atheist convert in front of 3,000 people. Let's begin. Imagine the year 1947. A Bedouin named Muhammad ed-Dib is fleeing from police for smuggling sheep. He throws a stone inside a cave in the Judean desert. The stone hits something hollow. Inside, not gold, not jewels, but leather scrolls wrapped in rotting linen. One of them, smaller than the palm of a hand, was sealed with broken red wax. When they opened it in 1952, archaeologists froze. It was an Aramaic text never seen before, dated 150 BC, speaking of a son of God who would be called Son of the Most High, who will reign forever, and the peoples will serve him. The description was identical to the angel Gabriel speaking to Mary, but written 2 centuries before Jesus was born. The scroll was hidden for 40 years in the archives of the Rockefeller Museum. Only in 1991, an orthodox rabbi named Yigal Amir, yes, the same one who years later would assassinate Rabin, read the text in secret and cried for 3 days. He wrote in a letter he never sent, "If this is true, then everything they taught us about the Messiah is wrong or terribly right." This is the story no one tells. And it's the thread that stitches together all the prophecies you'll hear now. Isaiah, 700 years before Christ, he's exhausted. He just saw Jerusalem invaded by the Assyrians. The temple reeked of blood from animals sacrificed in vain. God calls him in the middle of the night. Isaiah falls to his knees and hears a voice that isn't human. Write. He picks up the scroll. His pen trembles and begins, "A virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel." 700 years later, an angel repeats the same words to a teenage girl in Nazareth. But Isaiah doesn't stop there. In chapter 53, he describes a man who had no beauty or majesty, who would be despised and rejected, who carried our infirmities, who would be pierced for our transgressions. Ask any Orthodox Jew, who is this sufferer? Most say Israel as a nation, but read the text in original Hebrew. The pronoun is singular, it's a man. And the detail that froze my spine, Isaiah says he would be cut off from the land of the living, a rabbinic expression for capital execution, and that they would give him a grave with the wicked, crucifixion, buried with criminals. This is Rome, 1st century. Isaiah died 700 years before Rome invented the cross. Zechariah, 520 BC. He's in the middle of a vision. He sees 30 silver coins being thrown on the temple floor. The potter collects them. God says, "This is the price they valued me at, 30 coins." The exact value of an injured slave, according to Exodus 21:32. Fast forward 550 years. Judas Iscariot receives a bag. Inside, 30 silver coins. He throws them in the temple. The priests collect them. They buy a field. They call it Field of Blood. Zechariah wrote the receipt of betrayal 5 centuries in advance. Psalm 22, written by David 1000 BC. He's fleeing from Saul, hidden in a cave. Suddenly he begins to describe something he never lived. My God, why have you forsaken me? All who see me mock me. They divide my garments among them and cast lots for my clothing. David was never crucified, never had his clothes drawn lots for, but on the cross, Jesus cries out the first words of Psalm 22. In Aramaic, the Roman soldiers unknowingly fulfill verse 18. They divide the clothes, cast lots for the seamless tunic. Coincidence? Do the math. Statistical probability of 48 prophecies being fulfilled in one person is 1 in 10 to the power of 157. That's more atoms than the observable universe. Peter Stoner in Science Speaks said, "It's like covering Texas with 50-cent coins up to 60 centimeter high, marking one, mixing them, and a blind person finding it on the first try." Daniel 12:4. "But you, Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase." Today, for the first time in history, planes cross continents in hours. The internet delivers the Bible in 7,000 languages in seconds. The Temple Institute in Jerusalem already has the priestly garments ready, the solid gold menorah, and trains Levites for sacrifice. And Zechariah 12:3. "I will make Jerusalem a heavy stone. All who lift it will injure themselves." Look at the news. Nations gathering against Israel. Exactly as predicted, Micah, a forgotten prophet, lived in the same century as Isaiah. He was a peasant, not a priest. He lived in Moresheth, a village so small it barely appears on ancient maps. But God chose him to reveal the exact location of the Messiah's birth. In Micah 5:2 he writes, "But you, Bethlehem Ephrathah, though you are small among the clans of Judah, out of you will come for me one who will be ruler over Israel, whose origins are from of old, from ancient times, Bethlehem Ephrathah, not the northern Bethlehem, not Jerusalem, not any other city. Bethlehem, David's village." And the detail no one notices, whose origins are from of old. In Hebrew, the word is olam, which means eternity. Micah is saying the Messiah is not just a future king, but someone who already existed before time. When Herod asks the priests where the Messiah would be born, they quote Micah, "And Jesus is born exactly there, in a manger in Bethlehem." Coincidence? Herod ordered the killing of all children aged 0 to 2 in Bethlehem because of this prophecy. He believed it and failed. Hosea, another minor prophet, writes something that seems impossible. In Hosea 11:1, God says, "Out of Egypt I called my son." In context, it's talking about Israel leaving Egypt in the Exodus. But Matthew, in chapter 2, applies this directly to Jesus. "Out of Egypt I called my son." How so? Joseph flees with Mary and the child to Egypt because of Herod's persecution. When Herod dies, an angel appears in a dream and says, "Get up, return to Israel." They return, and Matthew says, "So was fulfilled what was spoken by the prophet. Out of Egypt I called my son." Hosea wrote this 750 years before. How could he know the Messiah would be called back from Egypt? And there's more. Hosea 6:2 says, "After 2 days he will revive us. On the 3rd day he will restore us." Jesus was in the tomb for 3 days. 2 days dead. On the 3rd day he rose. Rabbis debated this verse for centuries. None of them imagined it was about a man. Jeremiah, the weeping prophet, receives a terrible vision. In Jeremiah 31:15 he hears, "A voice is heard in Ramah, weeping and great mourning." Rachel weeping for her children and refusing to be comforted because they are no more. Ramah was a place of deportation, where the exiles of Babylon passed weeping. Rachel, the matriarch, was considered the symbolic mother of Israel. But 600 years later, when Herod orders the killing of the boys of Bethlehem, Matthew quotes this verse. "Then what was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet was fulfilled. The mothers of Bethlehem crying for their murdered children. The cry echoed from Ramah to Bethlehem." And the most impressive part, archaeologists found in Bethlehem an infant necropolis with dozens of baby skeletons from Herod's era. The prophecy wasn't just spiritual, it was historical, literal, and no one saw it coming. Now, a prophecy almost no one talks about, the curse of the fig tree. In Micah 7:1, the prophet laments, "Woe is me, for I am like those who gather summer fruits, like those who glean grapes of the vintage. There is no cluster to eat, no first ripe fig that my soul desires." Jesus, centuries later, curses a fig tree that had no fruit, even though it wasn't the season for figs. The fig tree withers from the roots. Why? Because Israel was the fig tree. And Jesus was saying, "You rejected the Messiah. Now the nation will wither." 40 years later, in 70 AD, Titus destroys Jerusalem. The temple is burned. 1 million Jews die or are enslaved. The fig tree withered. But Jesus also said in Luke 13, "Leave it alone for 1 more year. I'll dig around it and fertilize it." Israel would return. In 1948, after 1,178 years of dispersion, Israel is reborn as a nation. The fig tree sprouted again, and today Israel is the largest exporter of figs in the Middle East. The prophecy is alive. The Bedouin who found the scroll died without knowing what he had in his hands. The rabbi who cried for 3 days never told anyone. But you just heard it. And now the question that won't let me sleep. If all this has already happened, what's left? The clock is ticking. Daniel's last prophecy says, "The wise will understand." Are you one of them? He is coming back. And the Bible has already told where, how, and why. If this video made your heart race, it wasn't by accident. Comment below. Which prophecy shocked you the most? Share with someone who needs to wake up. And subscribe, but only if you have the courage to know what comes next.